Chasers! Today's episode is about a unique method for SMSFs to co-own property with family or business partners within investment limits. I'm your host, Chris Becks, a financial and business advisor with over 40 years experience and the founder of the multi-award-winning CBEX Business Solutions for Good. This is a financial planning topic, and as an authorised representative of Interprac Financial Limited, I'm obliged to give you this general advice disclaimer before we begin.
The information provided is for educational purposes and is general advice only, as we did not take into account your investment objectives, financial situation or particular needs. Before making an investment decision on the basis of this advice, you should consider how appropriate the advice is to your particular investment needs and objectives. You should also consider the relevant product disclosure statement before making any decision relating to a financial product. Chris Becks is a director of CBEX Financial Solutions and an authorized representative of Interprac Financial Planning Proprietary Limited, AFSL 246638.
Now that is done, let's dive into this episode. When looking at ways for an SMSF to invest in property, the first thing you need to consider are the rules. You can only buy property through your SMSF if you comply with the rules. The property must meet the sole purpose test of solely providing retirement benefits to fund members and not be acquired from a related party or a member unless it is business real property or commercial property. However, if an SMSF wants to invest with a family member or a business partner, then there's another rule that has to be considered, called the in-house asset rule. Under the in-house asset rules, an SMSF is prohibited from holding more than 5% of its total assets in an in-house asset. Under the rules, an SMSF trustee must not use the SMSF's assets to provide financial assistance to a member or their relatives, or borrow money from the SMSF or use the SMSF as security for a loan. The in-house asset rules are complex, and trustees should seek professional advice before making any investments that could potentially breach the rules. Penalties for breaching the in-house asset rules can be severe, including disqualification from acting as an SMSF trustee. If you are found to have breached the in-house asset rules, there are a number of consequences that may apply. These include: 1. The Australian Tax Office may issue a direction to wind up this SMSF. 2. The ATO may impose a civil penalty on the trustees. 3. The trustees may be disqualified from acting as trustees of the SMSF. And 4. The SMSF may be liable for tax on any assets that have been acquired in breach of the rules. If you're thinking about using your SMSF to invest in a business or property, make sure you get advice to understand the in-house asset rules first. Otherwise, you could end up putting your retirement at risk. Now, there is a regulation in the Superannuation Industry Supervision Act that allows a special way for self-managed super funds to buy a property together with a family member or business partner without breaking the in-house asset rules. So let's explore this regulation and see how it works. Normally, an SMSF can't invest too much in assets owned by related parties like family members or business associates. Regulation 13.22C helps SMSFs bypass this limit when buying property together. To use this rule, the SMSF must qualify as a self-managed super fund, and the people involved must be related parties like family members and meet specific requirements. A special 13.22C unit trust is a specific type of trust structure that allows a self-managed super fund to invest in a unit trust alongside a related party without violating the in-house asset rule. Here's how it works. A special unit trust is established, and the SMSF and the related party, such as family members or business associates, become beneficiaries or unit holders of the trust. The SMSF and the related party each own a specific number of units in the trust, representing their share of ownership. The unit trust, with contributions from both the SMSF and the related party, invests in a property or other assets such as shares or cash. Normally, SMSFs have restrictions on investing in assets owned by related parties to prevent potential conflicts of interest. However, by using the 13.22C unit trust structure, the SMSF can bypass these limitations. Any income generated from the property or assets held within the unit trust is distributed among the beneficiaries according to their respective unit holdings. Similarly, expenses are shared proportionately. Proper records and documentation must be maintained to demonstrate compliance with regulations and to keep track of income, expenses and changes in unit ownership. To use the 13.22C unit trust, certain conditions must be met, including adhering to the rules and regulations set out by the ATO and the Superannuation Industry Supervision Act. One crucial requirement is that the trustees of the unit trust cannot borrow money or mortgage the property acquired. Also, if the property is leased to a related party or beneficiary of the unit trust, it must not be set at non-arm's length market rates. It must be evidenced by what the current market value of the lease would be. So getting a couple of different rent appraisals is very important before the lease is executed. By using the special 13.22C unit trust structure, an SMSF can effectively invest in assets with a related party, while remaining within the legal boundaries and ensuring transparency and fairness in the investment process. It's essential to seek professional advice and guidance to set up and manage this arrangement correctly. Thank you for listening. I'm Chris Becks, and I look forward to presenting another episode soon.
If you enjoyed this episode and you'd like to help support the Chasers channel, we would love you to share it with your business friends and colleagues, post about it on social media, or leave a rating and review. To catch all the latest from CBEX Business Solutions for Good, follow us on Facebook at facebook.com/CBEX, Instagram at CBEX, and on the internet at cbex.com. Thanks again, and we'll be sharing new info with you on our next episode.